I'm nervous, and I've been doing this for 47 years. I thank you so much, Jerry. Jerry and Neolife has changed my life dramatically, and it's really a pleasure to be with you here in Seattle at the North America Convention. It's been about 9 or 10 years since I've been at a North America Convention. I'd like you to know that I started in Neolife, just like you, as a distributor in 1971 in the Stone Age. At that time, I was a school teacher. I was teaching high school in New York City, coaching track and field. That was my passion. I loved it. I loved teaching. As teachers, we had a lot of free time as well. We had the summers free. We had time free at Christmas time, at Easter time, and winter holiday, and lots of free time, and no money. So just like every other school teacher, I was looking for other ways to earn some income. And I was invited along to look at Neolife at a meeting. And to make a long story short, at my wife's insistence, we joined. My wife, by the way, was a laboratory technician in a hospital. Her name is Geraldine. We call her Jerry. In fact, there are two people that always tell me what to do, and they're both named Jerry, And, we built a business, and then we spent time down in Memphis, Tennessee. We spent 6 months there building, and in Florida. And then as the company was opening up in Italy, both my mother and my father were born in Italy. So we had relatives. So I made a list of all my mother's relatives. I made a list of names of all my father's relatives. And we bought one-way tickets to Italy. None of them were interested. Does anyone here have a negative relative? It's a global disease. It's worse than the swine flu, But they all use the products today, and a number of them joined the business. And we built in Italy. We spent 3 years building in Italy, and we had a fantastic business. And then I had the opportunity to be part of the management of the company and to go up to Scandinavia, to Sweden, to build a business there. Now, the language was different. The climate was different. The food was different. Everybody's tall. I walked around like this all day, But it was so well worth it, because what I love about Neolife is the way that you can make an impact on someone else's life. And it can be physical, it can be emotional, it can be a financial impact. We heard the stories up here today. I was listening to Jeff Burkholz's story and Linda's and all of you, and I was practically in tears back there because of how it's changed your life. They say that the two most important days in your life are the day you're born and the day you find out why. When I joined Neolife, I knew why. And I'm so thankful because the opportunity to share our fantastic products with people, this opportunity that we call Neolife, and to share the stories. And I'd like to share with you some stories of people from Northern Europe. It's one of the things I love. I love to go around the world sharing stories. I just came from Japan a couple weeks ago, and fantastic business in Japan, and so many great product stories and business testimonials. But the story I'd like to share with you here today, I believe this is the clicker. Yes? I should have come up and tested it before. However, we've heard earlier today, this morning, we saw people up on this stage who were diamond directors and ruby directors and sapphires, and they have 5 and 10 and 14 leg qualified director legs or more. Huge businesses. And maybe someone here is thinking, I don't know a lot of people. I don't know if I can talk to that many people. It doesn't matter how many people you know, and it doesn't matter who you know. How many of you feel you can sponsor one? Well, I'd like to share with you what can happen as a result of just sponsoring through one person. And the story I'd like to share with you begins in Sweden. So let's see. Which one do I need to move this forward? Oh, great. I like to call this the power of one, and it's not who you know that's important. And this story actually goes back to, it begins in Sweden in 1985. This couple joined our business, and let's see here. This couple is Urban and Eva Ahlström, very Swedish name. Urban, they lived in Stockholm, and he was a product manager, an IT product manager, software, and had a decent income, but they were looking to start a business of their own. And they didn't have the capital to start a normal business. The risks were high. They became Neolife distributors. And they never sponsored a wide group of people. However, they did sponsor one leg, and they became Sapphire directors. Now, wonderful, right? In fact, their best month as Sapphires was about $18,000 in 1 month through this one leg. Now, how did that happen? Well, they sponsored a couple by the name of Niels and Evelyn Enquist, also in Sweden. Niels used to work in a warehouse. His job was to pick up a box here and put it over there. He was very overweight, had long hair, a beard. This photo was after he got cleaned up, by the way. But you know, you can't judge, they say this, that old adage, you can't judge a book by its cover. Niels had this interest, let's call it, a vice. He loved to go to the horse races, and he would bet a little money. Never won. His dream was to one day own his own racehorse, but you can never do that by moving boxes in a warehouse. Niels, as I mentioned, he was very overweight. Well, joins the business and gets to work. His business begins to grow. By the way, Evelyn was very, very shy. She was always there, but rarely spoke. Well, they began to build their business, and because Niels' father spoke Finnish, was from Finland, he began to speak to some people in Finland. Their business grew so big, they named their team, their group was Golden Vikings. And with the money from Neolife, they actually bought a racehorse. That racehorse became the winningest racehorse in Sweden and all over Europe. Niels Enquist, this warehouse worker, became a TV commentator. He was the expert on horse racing. Yeah. You'd see him in Germany and in Italy. Golden Viking, right? By the way, at one of our conventions, as a result of the weight management products, he's on the stage, and he says, well, this is the suit I wore 3 years ago. And he takes off the jacket and the pants. He says, this is the suit I was wearing 1 year ago. And then he takes off that jacket and pants and he says, this is where I was 6 months ago, and this is me today. He had 4 suits on, right? Incredible story. Well, they sponsored someone in Finland who sponsored someone else, and up pops a guy by the name of Juhani Kärkkäinen. Juhani Kerkkainen was a lamp salesman. Sold lamps, bedroom lamps, floor lamps. Juhani never built a large, wide group. In fact, Juhani only had one leg. One. As a result of this leg, became the happiest sapphire director in the history of Neolife Europe, because the person that he sponsored, who sponsored someone else, is a couple by the name of Eija and Heikki Heimonen. Eija was a violin teacher. Heikki had a construction business, and in the early 90s, when there was a really serious recession, he lost it. He lost his business. He had employees, he had equipment. They owed probably well over $1 million. No hope. And someone said, you know, Heikki, here's a way you can start to pay back some of those loans and start to change your life around. They joined the business. Eija and Heikki became 3 diamond directors. Now Heikki passed away about 5 or 6 years ago, but you don't lose the business. Eija continues to work and build a business 5, 6 years later. As a 3 diamond, you have 14 qualified director legs, all hitting the top of the chart. Many of them are world team members and president's team members. We won't talk about them all. We'll just talk about one. By the way, Eija's income today from Neolife is 30 times more than it used to be as a piano teacher. Now, let's just talk about one of the legs that they have in their business out of those 14. One is this couple, Kauko and Paula Hakkala, also from Finland. Kauko was a plumber. Paula, a nurse. Today, they're semi-retired, but they're president's team member, 4 Ruby directors. They love to travel, and their business gives them tremendous residual income to do whatever they choose. And now, by the way, Enquist did not know Heimonen. Ahlstrom didn't know any of these people other than Niels Enquist. But as a result, thousands of lives had already begun to change in Sweden and in Finland. And one of the people that, now as a president's team member, Kauko and Paula have 6 qualified legs. We'll just talk about one. One of the legs that they developed is a couple by the name of Ene and Raivo Berg. Here's an interesting story. They live in a small country called Estonia. Estonia is part of the Baltic region, the Baltic countries. There are only 1.3 million people in Estonia. I think there were more people in this hotel. You know why they joined? She didn't know how to refuse her sponsor. She didn't know how to say no, so she said, okay, we'll make him happy and we'll buy some product. As a result, their health improved. Their health changed. They began talking to people, and today they are 5 Ruby directors in Estonia. Almost all the business comes through them. Now, we started in Sweden, into Finland, into this country called Estonia. Now, understand that as a 5 Ruby director, you need to have at least 8 qualified director legs, right? All qualified directors or emeralds and world team members. Well, which they do. By the way, today, had they not joined Neolife, they'd be getting a pension of 300 euros per month, which would be about $360. That would be it. That's all they'd have. Instead, today, they earn 20 times more than what she was earning as an HR person in the company she worked for in Estonia. 20 times more. Now, plus all of the travel that they've done through these years. Now, one of those 8 legs of Ene and Raivo Berg is in the next country called Lithuania, also a Baltic country. Now, you're going to meet this couple shortly. You're going to hear from Vitalia. You're going to hear their own story from their own mouth. Algirdas and Vitalia Prankachai. Now, they had their own, Algirdas had his own business, and Vitalia was working in business administration in Lithuania. By the way, Lithuania also, it's a country of 2.5 million people. More people in Seattle, I think. And they'll tell you their story of the challenges that they had to overcome to get products and to build their business. However, today they are 5 Ruby directors. They have 8 qualified director leads. Their volume each month is between 150 and 200,000, just group volume, 3 levels. And their salary is their income is 24 times more than it was before Neolife. 24 times more. They have 22 world team members in their group. Of those 8 legs, one is a 3 Ruby director on their way to president's team. They have 2 more world team legs. We'll just talk about one leg, a Sapphire. They sponsored a Sapphire, a lady by the name of Silvia Pumpos. Silvia, school teacher. She joined Neolife for the extra income. Today, her Neolife business gives her 10 times more than her salary as a school teacher. Isn't that something? Lives changing, health changing, improving. And she has one leg, and that one leg that she has is a couple by the name of Laima and Bronius Kulbikai, also in Lithuania. Now this is all going down one leg. By the way, Heimonen, the 3 diamonds, they didn't know Ene Berg, 5 Ruby in Estonia. They didn't know the Prankaitis couple. They didn't know Silvia. Enkrist, the warehouse worker, was focused on his racehorses while all of this is happening through one leg. Now, this couple here, Sapphire directors. Laima is a school teacher, and her husband Bronius is retired. They joined 13 years ago because of the products. They were looking for products to improve their health, which it did. She said, I do not want to build a business. Don't talk to me about business. But she got so excited about the products, she talked to other people about them. Several people joined, and as a result, she developed a qualified director leg and became a Sapphire director herself. Today, they earn 4 times more than she was earning as a school teacher. That one leg that they have, one qualified director leg, also in Lithuania, is a couple by the name of Daiva and Valtutis Simuchai. Daiva and Valdutis are 3 Ruby directors. She used to work at a national health center. Valdutis had a small furniture business, his own business. They joined because of the products. They wanted to share good health with everybody that they know in Lithuania, and they'd be doing a fantastic job. You know, as 3 Ruby directors, they've got 5 qualified legs. They earn 13 times more today than her previous salary. Their next step is president's team. Of those 5 legs, let's just talk about one of them. One leg, this is some story. Valeria and Raimondos Creucinai. Valeria used to work as a bank teller. Now, in Lithuania, they live in a small town, a village, really, and the majority of the people who live in that village worked for a petroleum company, a Russian oil company. She was working in the bank. Then one day, Raimondas lost his job. You know, it's when they talk about the company town. Well, that's exactly what this was in Lithuania. He lost his job, and they had to now take care of the family through her job as a bank teller. Well, they focused on building the business. Today, their income is 4 times more than what their combined income was before Neolife. And their goal is to be a good example for their daughters and to help people live a better life and better health through Neolife. Isn't that great? Now, they are 2 Ruby directors, which means they have at least 4 qualified director legs. We'll just talk about one of those legs. One of the people that they sponsored, wonderful couple by the name of Diana and Rasa and Renatas Vahuchai. She also worked in the bank, same bank. She too was a bank teller. Renatas is a mechanic. She suffered from allergies, many allergies, and was taking various medications. She was also looking for products that would help her children to strengthen their immune system because they were always catching colds and so on. Joined the business. Today, they are Sapphire directors, and their income is 7 times more than it was before Neolife. I'd say their life is changing. And the leg that they developed, they sponsored a couple by the name of Diana and Paulius Petrosai. What a wonderful couple. Diana, when I take photos with this couple, by the way, I have to stand on a chair because he's 6'7", she's about 6'1". Diana was a manager at an insurance company, and Paulius runs his own company. It's as a financial analyst. They joined because of the products. They just stepped up to Sapphire Director last month. They just returned from a leadership school, and their goal is, they said, we have a mission to help people live happier and healthier lives through Neolife and through our products. And they're on their way. They developed one person in their downline who is a very interesting story, very similar to someone we heard today. Aurelia Nerius Urnikiai. Aurelia is a school teacher, and Nerius is retired from the army. They also joined because of the products. They tried for years to have children. We heard this earlier today. They tried artificial insemination 2 times and failed. The doctors told her that she had the biological age of an 80-year-old woman. Today they have 2 beautiful children. They are Emerald directors, just returned from leadership school. They're earning 4 times more than they used to earn before, and they're on their way to Sapphire Director. Now, how about that? Look at this. The power of one downline organization. And this is all because a guy talked to a guy in a warehouse and say, hey, would you like to live a better life? Now, you talk about making an impact. This is an incredible story. And that's just one. There were so many of these right around the world. You know, right here, you see 14 World Team and Emerald directors down one in one down line. Now, by helping one person, you don't know what the end result can be. It could be the cashier at the grocery store. It could be a teacher. It could be the next taxi driver that you're in the car with. And you know, here's the great thing. Don't stop at just one. Our compensation plan rewards you each time you take a step and you develop a leg or 2 more legs. Each time you do that, you're rewarded. Now, and this is true, this is living proof of what you hand out comes back to you. And at this point, I have the pleasure of introducing one of these people to you. One of them will come up and tell you their story. We just returned from the Silverado. We were fishing, salmon fishing up in Alaska on a beautiful yacht, the Silverado. Vitalia caught the largest king salmon I'd ever seen in my life. And I want you to listen closely to their story. It's a life-changing story. 5 Ruby directors from Lithuania. Please welcome Vitalia Prankacene.